Here are today's top stories. Police and residents stop an attempt by urban poor group Kadamay to occupy a housing project in Rodriguez, Rizal. A senator urges President Duterte to sign the pending mental health bill into law. Authorities retrieve illegally kept mynas and blue nape parrots in Palawan. And former Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte plans to file libel and other charges against Senator Antonio Trillanes. Good day, I'm Pia Roses Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The National Housing Authority is set to deal with urban poor group Kadamay following the invasion of a housing project in Rodriguez, Rizal by informal settlers. More on this from Janice Cave.
Tension broke Wednesday morning when more than 200 members of the informal settlers and urban poor group Kadamay attempted to occupy the vacant housing units allocated for members of the military and police in a government socialized housing project in Barangay San Isidro, Rodriguez, Rizal. Local police immediately secured the area and diffused tension between the aggressive Kadamay members and Barangay San Isidro and Homeowners Association officials. They also coordinated with the homeowners in prodding Kadamay members who invaded the unoccupied housing units to vacate the houses. Homeowners explained they were among the early beneficiaries of some 700 units, while other rightful owners are expected to settle in soon. They also denounced the forcible occupation by the aggressive Kadamay members. Doria Arellano, national chairman of the Kadamay group, said they have supported the occupation, insisting that some of their members have applied through the Rodriguez local government unit and the National Housing Authority. She explained that members assumed to benefit from a palace resolution pending to be signed by the president to provide affordable housing units to the poor. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police said it is up to the NHA to deal with the informal settlers. PNP Chief Director General Oscar Albayalde said allowing such gesture of Kadamay members will set an unfavorable precedent for the government. Albayalde pointed out that in Kadamay's first takeover of housing units in Bulacan, there were already owners of those properties that were illegally seized. He said they might demand the government to pay for their rent, water, electricity, and even their internet usage like what happened in Bulacan. Albayalde explained that policemen entitled to units in the housing area would have quickly filled up the site if it would be offered to them. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Calls are mounting for the passage of a mental health law, with a current bill needing President Rodrigo Duterte's signature. Senator Risa Ontiveros has urged President Duterte to sign Mental Health Act into law, which seeks to provide help to Filipinos suffering from depression and other mental health issues. Ontiveros notes that the Mental Health Act has already been ratified by both chambers of Congress last month. She says it usually takes a high-profile case like the recent suicide of celebrities Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain before people begin opening up about suicide and depression. The Philippines is averaging 7 cases of suicide per day in 2012 as reported by the World Health Organization. The National Poison Management and Control Center of the Philippine General Hospital, during a Senate hearing, 46% of the total suicide cases recorded since 2010 is from the youth. Meanwhile, the United Nations Health Agency also listed 4.5 million cases of depression among Filipinos. However, the Department of Health said that 1/3 of depressed people in the country seek professional help. 2 construction workers were reported killed due to a landslide caused by rains in Barangay Salud Mitra, Baguio City on Wednesday. Baguio police identified the victims as project engineer Patrick Lachica and human resources representative Hannah Jean Aragon. The 2 were employees of FCL Laranang Construction, the firm putting up the mega tower condominium at the accident site. Investigators say the 2 were swept by a landslide that hit their barracks and were buried in the mud. People in the area were advised to take the necessary precaution, especially with the loosening of soil due to the continuous rains. Pag-asa had earlier warned that the city will experience continuous rains until the weekend due to the southwest monsoon. Meanwhile, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, raised today the orange heavy rainfall alert in various parts of Luzon. Metro Manila, Bataan, Batangas, and Cavite are expected to experience heavy rains, while Bataan and Zambales may be hit by floods. Many candidates in last month's Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections reportedly waited for the deadline on Wednesday before submitting their respective statements of contributions and expenditures, or SOSE. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez says field offices reported large numbers of candidates filing their submissions to beat the deadline. Jimenez warned that failure to file the SOSE would mean sanctions, including the withholding of the Certificate of Compliance, without which winning candidates would not be able to assume office. Jimenez noted that the SOSE would help them determine if the candidate followed the allowable campaign spending limit of 5 pesos per barangay voter under the law. Overspending candidates will face disqualification charges. Under the Omnibus Election Code, every candidate and treasurer of a political party shall present full, true, and itemized SOSE after an electoral exercise. The candidates were given 30 days after the polls to file the document at the local COMELEC office. The Philippine National Police is investigating the entry of 163 million pesos worth of smuggled shabu into the country. Operatives of the Northern Police District seized a 24-kilo contraband from 2 suspects in an operation Barangay 7-78, Zone 85, Santa Ana, Manila. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says the packed drugs were found in the luggage with Chinese markings, which means the drugs may have been smuggled into the country. Meanwhile, NPD Director Chief Superintendent Clifton M. Piso identified the 2 drug suspects as Ian Akira Calabio and his mother Ruby Calabio. The seized shabu is said to be turned over the crime lab for examination. Still to come, the Department of Finance orders the shutdown of cigarette counterfeiters, including their protectors in the government. Authorities retrieve illegally kept minus and blue nape parrots in Palawan. Back after a quick break, this is the PNA Newsroom.
I believe that there is truly a need to limit the use of social media among youth. Because nowadays, as far as I can see, we are already dependent with the use of different social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and many others. So I think there is a need for its moderation.
Oo naman, kasi hindi maganda lahat ng sobra. At ang mga kabataan ngayon, madami ring risk na makukuha sa social media, lalo na kung walang guidance. So dapat lang sa mga magulang, they make sure na ilimit nilang paggamit ng mga bata ng social media.
Para sa akin, kailangan limitahan ang paggamit ng social media sa kabataan tulad namin. Bakit? Dahil para maiwasan ang pag-abuso sa paggamit nito at magamit namin ng oras sa mga makabuluhang bagay.
I think it's not that we should limit the youth from using social media, but at least we should at least keen on what we post. We should properly utilize it. Posting online and what we read online is something that's very important.
Dapat ipagbawal yung paggamit ng social media sa mga kabataan. It's because nadadivert yung kanilang self sa social media instead na mag-focus sila sa study, doon na lang sila sa social media, hinihintay kung sino mag-reply, sino magpo-post, para nababaliwala na yung kanilang study. So para sa akin, dapat ipagbawal o limitahan yung paggamit ng social media.
The government is seeking to eliminate manufacturers of fake cigarettes and other tobacco products, as well as their supposed protectors. More on this from Miguel Hill.
Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III has directed the Bureau of Customs and the Bureau of Internal Revenue to track down manufacturers of counterfeit tobacco products and their possible cohorts in government. Dominguez also ordered BOC Commissioner Isidro La Peña and BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay to disable the confiscated machines so they could no longer be used. La Peña and Dulay were also told to find out how the machines used to manufacture the fake cigarettes, which were uncovered in recent operations in Luzon and Mindanao, were able to enter the country undetected by authorities. Dominguez issued the directive after the BIR reported that its strike team had raided several warehouses storing smuggled and counterfeit cigarettes in Malabon and Manila. Meanwhile, BOC operatives seized counterfeit cigarettes and bogus tax stamps worth 500 million pesos in 3 warehouses in Bulacan. The BIR strike team likewise seized unlicensed cigarette making machines, cigarette packing machines, filter making machines, and fake cigarette tax stamps during raids in Pampanga and Cagayan de Oro. Dominguez likewise directed the BOC to find out from which country the machines originated and how the units were allowed by the said country for export when they were most probably classified as controlled items. The BIR's intensified campaign against counterfeit cigarettes led to the closure of local manufacturer Mighty Corporation's operations last year. The firm eventually sold its assets to be able to settle its tax obligations after the government slapped a string of criminal complaints against it for the use of counterfeit tax stamps on its products. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue reports that it has exceeded its target collection for the first 5 months of 2018. The BIR collected 827.91 billion pesos in revenues from January to May 2018. The amount exceeded the agency's 803 billion peso target by about 3%. BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay says this year's revenues were higher by 14.7% from 721 billion in the same period last year. He says this is due to the improved tax collection efforts by the BIR's field offices. Police and military officials in Pangasinan have declared the province to be free from insurgency. The 7th Infantry Division of the Philippine Army and Pangasinan Provincial Police Office signed a joint recommendation at the Provincial Police Office in Lingayen. First Lieutenant Catherine Hapin, spokesperson of the 7th ID, says an insurgency-free province is defined as one that has favorable peace and order conditions. The said province must also be cleared of local terrorist groups and communist MPA terrorists. A joint declaration was earlier signed by former 7th ID Commander Irineo Espino and former Pangasinan Governor Amado Espino Jr. back in 2010. Brigadier General Henry Robinson, commander of the 702nd Infantry Brigade, vowed to stay vigilant in protecting Pangasinan despite being insurgency-free. Bataan, La Union, and Pampanga have also been declared insurgency-free provinces. About 30 former members of the New People's Army are learning animal production from a seminar organized by the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA. The seminar is part of the government's livelihood training program, Compostela Valley Province. Out of the 268 rebels that previously surrendered to President Duterte, only 65 of them underwent profiling last March. They were then asked to choose which livelihood skills they would like to learn. Aside from swine production, other skills taught through TESDA were shielded metal arc welding and bread and pastry making. TESDA Compostela Valley says the welding workshop will start next month depending on the number of participants, including those aiming for in-demand jobs. The seminars and workshops are given for free. Environment enforcers have recovered 47 wild birds from a suspected illegal wildlife trading operation in the southern Palawan municipality of Quezon. The birds were seized on Monday at Sitio Sumil, Barangay Sawangan, Quezon Town by operatives of the Philippine National Police, Maritime Group, and the Bantay Palawan Task Force. The 35 juvenile mynas and 12 blue nape parrots were confiscated from the two suspects identified as Ariel Bustamante and Ariel Rapana. They were charged with violation of the Philippine Wildlife Act. Jovic Fabello, spokesperson of the Palawan Council for Sustainable Development staff, says the birds were kept in small improvised cages hidden behind a small waterfall. He revealed that there was a previous shipment of wild birds, which authorities failed to prevent. Up next, former Davao City Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte plans to file libel and other charges against Senator Antonio Trillanes, and a youth group from Ilocos Norte is cleaning up the ocean of plastic waste in an effort to protect marine life. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Namigay ng relief grocery packs ang lokal na pamahalaan ng Marawi para sa internally displaced persons na nakatira sa Sari Manocten City kasabay ng nagpapatuloy na obserbasyon nila ng banal na Ramadan. Mantika, kape, asukal, bihon at palaman sa tinapay ang ilan sa mga natanggap na ayuda ng mga benepisyaryo. May ipinamahagi ring 25 kilo ng bigas para sa bawat pamilya. Lubos naman ang pasasalamat ng mga IDP. Ayon sa ilang nakapanayam, magagamit nila ang natanggap na grocery packs para sa paghahanda ng kanilang iftar kahit na walang hanap buhay ang karamihan sa kanila. Ang iftar ay salo-salo ng mga Muslim pagsapit ng gabi kung kailan maaari na silang kumain matapos ang buong araw na pag-aayuno. Hiling umano nila kay Allah na makabalik sila sa isang mapayapang Marawi. May itinatayong masjid sa Site 1 ng Sari Manocten City pero kailangan pang matapos ang sahig nito para magamit nila sa pagdarasal. Sa ngayon, 104 na pamilya ang nakatira sa Site 1 ng naturang relocation area. 184 na pamilya naman ang nasa Site 2. Bukod sa grocery packs, nakatanggap rin ng mukna o mga kasuotang ginagamit sa pagdarasal ang mga babaeng Muslim na nakatira sa Tent City. Galing naman ang mga ito sa provincial government ng Lanao del Sur. Ayon sa mga camp manager, mas maayos at regular na rin ang supply ng tubig sa Sari Manok dahil sa tulong ng Department of Public Works and Highways at Local Water Utilities Administration. Mahalagang tulong ito para sa ablusyon o paglilinis ng katawan ng mga Muslim bago magsimula ang oras ng kanilang pagdarasal. Para sa Bayan, Donna Magsino, Philippine Information Agency.
Former Davao City Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte plans to file criminal and civil complaints against Senator Antonio Trillanes for maliciously implicating him in the purported 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment smuggled in the country last year. The presidential son accused Trillanes of spreading manufactured lies to destroy his name and reputation and cause a negative impact on President Duterte. Paulo says Trillanes' parliamentary immunity does not apply to the damaging remarks he made against him during media interviews. Paulo had earlier labeled the accusation made by Trillanes as lies based on gossip and black propaganda against the president and his administration. In December, he also filed civil damage suit against Trillanes over the senator's allegations that he was involved in graft and corruption. Paulo is filing a suit against Trillanes together with lawyer Maneses Carpio. The Commission on Human Rights lauded the Philippine National Police move to stop the practice of presenting suspects of crimes before the media. The CHR, through its social media account, says it approves the PNP's drive to follow due process and presumption of innocence. The PNP chief ordered all police stations to stop firing squad-style presentations of suspects last Monday. Albayalde said aside from respecting the human rights of suspects, the order was part of a 2008 memorandum issued by former PNP chief Jesus Versosa for arrested individuals. Albayalde meanwhile clarified that despite the non-presentation of suspects, the PNP will continue to inform the public of developments on crimes they are involved in. A new women's champion was named at FIBA 3x3 World Cup as Italy took the title away from erstwhile champ Russia with a 16-12 final win. Raylin Diali, who instantly became a crowd favorite, led the Italian squad with 7 points to cap her MVP-worthy performance all throughout the tournament. Anna Leshkovtseva, who made the mythical three alongside Diali and China's Li Yingyun, led Russia with 4 points. However, Li failed to lift China over France in the third-place playoff as the latter sustained a hot start en route to a 21-14 win. On the other hand, Ukrainian bowler Dmitry Krivenko earned a gold medal after winning the slam dunk contest. France's Guy Dupuy took the silver, while other own David Carlos settled for the bronze. For our news feature story, a youth group in Ilocos Norte is saving the environment in their own little way by clearing plastic waste and calling for the protection of marine life. More in this report from Maricor Zapata.
They proudly call themselves ocean patrollers, and these young volunteers are now making waves in Ilocos Norte for protecting marine resources and keeping plastic pollution at bay. On their spare time, they would gather near the beach and pick up scattered plastic bottles and other plastic materials along the shore. At times, they would fun dive and do some underwater cleanup. These young people hate plastics. They form part of an environment advocacy group called Movement Against Plastic Pollution, or simply MAPP, in Ilocos Norte. The group aims to protect the environment against plastic pollution and educate people on their role as stewards of nature. Patricia Dacanay founded the MAPP. She says plastic pollution is everyone's problem and that zero-waste lifestyle has its rewards in the long run. The MAPP engages the help of other youth volunteers in promoting its anti-plastic advocacy on social media. Last June 9, the MAPP and its partner schools organized a Marine Conservation Day camp to reach out to fellow youth and figure out how to get rid of plastic pollution, even little by little. The whole day event included discussions on marine and coastal ecosystems, fisheries laws, plastic pollution, and zero-waste lifestyle. Ilocos Norte's Fishery Regulatory Officer Arthur Valente notes a number of marine animals and fishes are dying because of plastic pollution, not just water contamination. He believes the solution to the problem starts with oneself. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
Let's now check out weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories. Police and residents stop an attempt by urban poor group Kadamay to occupy a housing project in Rodriguez, Rizal. as Senator urges President Duterte to sign the pending mental health bill into law. Authorities retrieve illegally kept minus and blue nape parrots in Palawan. And former Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte plans to file libel and other charges against Senator Antonio Trillanes. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We'd like to take time out to greet our director Raquel Bonustro a very happy birthday from all of us at PNA. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.